Hello and welcome to another episode of Coffeefusion. This week we're going to look at dose and how it affects your extraction. Okay guys, so this one is a bit of an advanced tutorial for espresso. If you haven't seen the pulling great shots video, I recommend you check that out first. I'll put a little annotation here and I'll wait for you to check that out if you haven't seen it. No, seriously, check it out, I'm waiting. So in that video, we talked about keeping your dose consistent and then playing around with a coarser or finer grind in order to get your extraction on point. To illustrate the importance of keeping your dose the same, I've done in this video a number of extractions ranging from 18 grams to 20 grams with a 0.5 change every time. Now with each extraction and a 0.5 change in the dose, it's going to have an effect on the flow rate, so that's how fast the water can run through the coffee, and as a result of that, it will have an effect on the yield. And so what I've done to illustrate this point is kept the time the extraction is running the same. So all of these shots have been pulled for 28 seconds, and then we've recorded the yield for each of the extractions. Another important thing to note, guys, is that your baskets have a rating on them in terms of grams, and if you go too far either side of that rating, the coffee won't extract properly. It will really have an effect on the way the water runs through the puck. For example, if you have 14 grams in an 18 gram basket, when the water comes in, the way it runs through the coffee bed is going to be a little bit iffy. And if you put, for example, 22 grams in an 18 basket, you're probably going to choke up the shower screen and it's not going to be able to run through it at all. So I'm going to put up the extraction yields from my Kaya app that I used for this experiment. Basically, it'll just run through from 18 grams to 20 grams and show you the yield. And you can calculate all the ratios if you'd like to, but the 18 gram extraction was 1 to 2.12, all the way through to that 20 gram extraction, which was a little bit over 1 to 1. So you can see from this experiment that a 2 gram difference has made a huge effect in your yield, going from over double to just about 1 to 1. And also remember, as those grams are going up, yes, the yield is coming down, but if you've got more grams going in, that's going to change the ratio as well. It's going to tighten up that ratio. So why? Well, the reason I've done this video is to show you obviously the effect and why you should keep your dose consistent, but also you can make small changes to your dose to manipulate the flavor that you want to get in your extraction. For example, for black coffee, you might want to open that extraction up a little bit, maybe do 1 to 2 as a ratio and get some more of the sweetness in your shot. For my seasonal blend clickbait, for example, if you extract longer, you get this nice blueberry sweetness and you ease off on the strength a little bit. Whereas if I extract for milk, I might like to pull a slightly tighter shot, maybe 1 to 1.5, and then I'll get a more syrupy extraction, which is kind of chocolatey in flavor. But the main reason I've done this video is to show you guys the effect that your dose going in has on your ratio, because a lot of machines that you'll use in a commercial environment have volumetrics, which fix the amount of water or the amount of yield coming out. And so if you don't keep your dose the same, you're gonna have a really big play on your ratio. For example, you could have an 18 gram more finely ground dose going in, and that will extract in the same amount of time as, for example, a 19 or 20 gram more coarsely ground shot. And so it'll look like those extractions are running the same, but because the dose is different, your ratio is different because the dose is changing, but that yield is staying the same. So whilst having a time, as in say 25 to 30 seconds, and having a number that you keep in mind for your extraction is a good way to understand espresso in the beginning, it's not the only variable that you really need to understand when it comes down to the nitty-gritty of espresso. Thanks guys, so I hope you enjoyed this video and you got something out of it. If you learned something, just click that like button because that really helps me. And if this is your first Coffeefusion video, make sure you click subscribe because I've got more videos like this coming every week. And if you'd like to suggest a topic for the next video, put it in the comments below and I'll think about it. Also guys, if you haven't checked out Coffeefusion on Snapchat, I always post the behind the scenes. So if you check it out in the next 24 hours, you'll see the behind the scenes for this one. Otherwise you can check it out and then you'll see the next videos as they come along. Thanks very much guys, and I'll see you next week. Thank you so much for watching all the way to the end. Remember, if you're based in Australia and you want to try this experiment yourself, you can head to coffeefusion.com.au, grab yourself some Clickbait, the seasonal espresso blend, and give it a try. Thanks!